Okay, so welcome to the Arts and Culture Committee. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 6:32 p.m. We're going to begin with the land acknowledgement. We would like to begin by respectfully acknowledging that the town of Shelburne resides within the traditional territory and ancestral lands of the Anishinaabe, including the Ojibwe, Potawatomi, Chippewa, and the people of the Three Fires Confederacy. These traditional territories upon which we live, work, play, and learn are steeped in rich Indigenous history and traditions. It is with this statement that we declare to honor and respect the past and present connection of Indigenous peoples with this land, its waterways, and resources. We encourage residents to review the call to action information by visiting the website dccrc.ca/educational links to further research and educate oneself. Okay, so we'll start with the committee terms of reference. For the focus of this committee, the roles and expectations. This was included in the agenda package, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. But once the chair is established, the expectation is if you are unable to attend a meeting, that you please let the chair and myself both know that you're unable to attend so that we can keep track of that. That is the main one. The other one is if you have any pecuniary interest, financial interest, please declare it at the beginning of the meeting or at the time of the discussion of that topic. So the Arts and Culture Committee is to advise council and staff on policies and develop plans and programming designed to promote culture and arts within the community. Does anybody have any questions or comments related to the mandate or the focus and roles of the committee?
I have one question. I know that the town is going to be doing some music in the park across the street. Is that something that we would have responsibility for in the future, or is that just separate and apart, even though it's a cultural thing?
At this time, it's completely separate from the committee. If the committee would like to be involved, I can make staff aware of that, absolutely.
Okay.
But it's not, at this time, it's not a requirement of the committee to be involved with that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next item number 3, disclosures of pecuniary interest. There's no financial matters on today's agenda, so I'm not expecting any disclosures, but if anyone has a disclosure, they could make it now. Okay, the next item is the selection of the committee chair and vice chair. Now you are short one member this evening, so we could not make that person the chair or the vice chair. So you can go ahead and do the chair and vice chair, or you can choose to wait till the next meeting and have everybody present. Does anybody have a preference either way? If you would like to nominate someone for chair or yourself for chair, you can do that. Kyle?
I do have a nomination for chair, but I do think that it might also be prudent for us to make sure that majority of the committee is here, simply because it is a small committee. Might not be a bad idea to hold off on that. What are your thoughts?
Does anyone else have any thoughts in regard to that?
Yeah, it might be nice to just have everybody involved in the decision-making process.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree as well.
Yep, same here.
Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to defer that selection until the next meeting then. And then I'll just carry on for now.
There, Alice, or is that?
I don't need a motion because it's, well, actually, you know what? Yes, make a motion to defer it, and then that'll be, so Kyle, are you willing to move that we defer it?
Absolutely.
And can I get a seconder to defer that? Linda, thank you. And is everyone in favor of that?
Yep.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, so general information discussion items. The first one is the budget review. This is just I apologize. I meant to include this document within the agenda and it got missed being added. So I'll just share with you very quickly here. Okay, is everyone able to see my screen now?
Yep.
Okay, so the arts and culture currently has in a reserve account $14,960. So, and then the budget for this year is $15,000. And most of that is clearly reserves. So just so you're aware that that is what the budget is for this year. Okay, and it's to be brought forward. You'll see the note on the bottom that this reserve was to be brought forward to fund 2023 and not carried forward to future years. So that 14,960 is expected to be used this calendar year based on this budget. So it would require permission from council to extend it further if that was necessary.
Okay.
Okay.
So just quick question. Again, this is my first time in
Yep.
the committee. Just wanted to understand. So thank you for clearing this thing that $14,960 need to spend this year. And it's need to be all events related to art and culture only.
Correct.
Correct. Okay. And can we add some stuff to it? Like, can we get more grants, like fundraising stuff, if we want to increase, if we want to introduce anything, or this is the budget? That's it. That's what you need to play on.
This is the budget that is available to be worked with this year. If the committee becomes aware of any grants or fundraising opportunities, we can make council aware that you would like to apply for them.
Okay.
But it would be applying on behalf of the town. So it would have to include support from council before the committee could just apply for a grant or a fundraiser.
Okay, fair enough. Because in my opinion, because again, this is my first time. So art and culture for me, it's mostly related to different kind of events and festivals and monuments, music, dance, archaeology findings. So there are different kind of things related to handicraft. So we are exploring all those areas. Again, maybe I'm wrong. I just wanted to make sure. So is that what we are working on, which is already with the legacy, whatever the events we were doing, and in future, what are the possibilities to have new things to attract residents of Shelburne? That's understanding correct?
Yeah, so the last couple of years, unfortunately, have prohibited the committee from being able to do certain events and things. So that's why the council gave permission for this budget from last year to be carried forward as opposed to not being used at all, because they knew it would take time for the new committee to get moving on developing new opportunities for the Arts and
Yeah.
Culture Committee.
Got it. So it can be any category, whether it's festivals, dance, music, handicraft, anything which we want. Okay, got it. Thank
As
you.
long as it fits within the mandates of the committee, as previously mentioned, is attached to the agenda. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So that was just for your information. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is the meeting schedule. We do need to determine how often and when the committee would like to meet. And I did get information from Alex, who was unable to be here tonight as far as his availability. So that is helpful. He did indicate he could be available any day of the week, as long as it's not the same time as Heritage. He would prefer not Mondays or Fridays, and preferably between 6 and 10 p.m. So we try to avoid Mondays for committee meetings because that's the night of council. We try to avoid Fridays because nobody wants to start their weekend with a
No.
committee meeting. Me included, thank you. So we just need to determine what night of the week is going to work best for the committee and what start time is going to work best for the committee. And in reviewing of the applications, unfortunately, at this time, we cannot accommodate day meetings. So it is going to have to be an evening meeting.
Okay, so I'm good with this time, Wednesday, 6:30 onwards, if
Yeah.
that's okay with everyone.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah, I think Thursdays, just figuring out maybe which Thursday is definitely fine. 6:30 sometimes is a little tricky for me to make. So Zoom makes it easier, which is great because I can usually just come from the basement and sit in the living room or the dining room. So I just, as long as I think within our mandate, I think we have 10 minutes to make quorum before we have to cancel the meeting. Okay, so if I'm gonna be late, I'm hoping no more than 5 minutes, but but as long as there's kind of quorum, then I'm not gonna be like super stressed about making 6:30 because I know that we're okay. But yeah, so if everyone is more comfortable with 6:30, then like I have no problems with that. It just with the sort of apologies that I may be late.
So if it's not Wednesday, so this is gonna be for whole year, Wednesday we're gonna select? Or this is just, oh, okay.
Yeah, it would be for the rest of the term, so the next 4 years, basically, unless, some of us had a major conflict with choosing the day.
Well, right now, we would just book for 2023 and we would revisit it in December for 2024. Ideally
Okay.
being the same night continuing, but just in case there needs to be a change, we would revisit it in December of each year.
You guys just mentioned that. I just realized that Wednesdays is my cricket club practice. So
Yes.
oh, I just missed
Yes.
that. I'm sorry. I thought that this is just for a few weeks. It's not for the whole year. Okay. So
That's why I said Thursday.
Thursday's fine then. I'm good with Thursday then. Oh, I'm sorry, Linda.
what's that?
Thursday 6:30 is okay for you?
Not really, no,
Oh, shoot.
because I have Rotary every Thursday,
Every Thursday.
every
Oh,
Thursday.
geez. I thought it was
Always.
only once a month.
No, God, no.
Can we do after sunset? Is it possible on Wednesday?
You mean like 9 o'clock or something?
Yeah.
Is that too late for people, or what's everybody thinking?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
Or what about
Yeah.
Tuesdays? The
Tuesdays
Tuesdays
good.
could be good. I think I
Tuesday's
can
good.
do. I have library board, which was yesterday. So what is that? The third Tuesday, I
That's
think.
correct.
And then the
That's
second
correct.
Tuesday, I have fall fair. So
So we could do the
first Tuesday.
First
I have fall fair.
Tuesday,
So second and fourth, I can do.
second and fourth?
Yeah.
I thought you said you had the second was tied up with a meeting.
Yeah. No, the first Tuesday of every month is fall fair.
Oh,
And then the third Tuesday is library board. So the second and the fourth, I'm totally good for.
second Tuesday. Yeah, the second Tuesday is fine with me.
Second Tuesday works for me too.
Same here. Tuesday I'm open.
Good. So
Perfect.
okay, so is 6:30 convenient? Would you prefer to move it to 7?
Well, if we
Start
do it
time?
I'm okay for
7,
both.
then
I'm okay for both. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
it doesn't
actually,
matter to you, but Lindsay might
Alex,
find it better. What about you, Kyle?
I was gonna say if Lindsay's concerned about making 6:30 and she's worried about being late, why don't we just split it in the middle and do 6:45? That should give Lindsay the extra buffer and
Yes.
let us
Okay.
start earlier.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
enough of a buffer for you, Lindsay?
Yeah, I think so. I think that could be okay.
Okay.
I will
Okay.
try, once I know the the Tuesday that we're doing, I'll try and book a little lighter on that day so that, I'm not too pressed for time, but I
And if
definitely want
we-
to try
And if we determine that 6:45 is getting to be too tight, then we can always adjust it to 7
Yeah.
if necessary. It's not that much of it. Okay, so I'm going to put second Tuesday of the month at 6:45 p.m. Okay, can I get a mover and a seconder for that? Austin moving, seconder Linda, all in favor? Okay, it's carried. So then the next item on the agenda is arts and cultural opportunities for this term. This is just a general, let's start thinking about things. I'm not asking you to plan anything tonight. I will make you aware that we have received a request from a company that would like to do a presentation in regard to murals within the town. So we're going to try to coordinate with them and have them do a presentation to the Arts and Culture and Heritage Committee combined, so that they're just presenting one time. So that will be upcoming. It may not be the second Tuesday because I have to take in, but thankfully some of you are also on the Heritage Committee, so that will help. But yeah, so that is an opportunity that you can visit after that presentation. I just wanted to make you aware that that request has been received by the town.
Okay.
And then Kyle, I saw you had your hand up.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this falls under arts and culture, but there's an idea that I've been talking with Chris from the Duffy for well over a year. Something that we would like to put together is like a craft beer festival. There's a lot of craft brewers around the area through Caledon, through Hockley, Guelph. There's a lot of them actually fairly close. So what we thought is maybe we can do some kind of a festival during the summer at some point, invite these craft brewers, have them set up their booths, do like sampling, kind of like what Niagara does with their wine festival in the park. So music, beer, food tastings, all that sort of stuff. Just an event that we could possibly put on.
Would you do that in the Jack Dowling Park or some other place?
Yep, that will be
Would
the
that be
idea.
enough room?
It should be, and we would talk to staff and see if it's possible, if we could block off just the lower part of William. They could extend the park all the way across the road, right to where the Duffy is. That could make a much larger space as well.
Yeah, we would just need to make sure we fence it in because it's alcohol, so,
Absolutely.
yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
not sure, Alice, do you know if that's doable? I think William, we've got control of. We don't have any worries with
Yeah.
MTO. And
Yeah.
we wouldn't be locking it off completely, so we wouldn't have too much issue with the fire hall. I know they're usually okay if we shut off a portion of William. They still have other routes that can get out.
Okay, so Kyle, quick question regarding, it's a great idea, but so it's going to be considered as a culture, it's going to consider as an art, that brewing the beer, it's an art, right? I think so, right?
It's a little bit of both.
Like a little bit of both, okay?
Yeah.
I just want you to understand. I'm sorry.
Hey,
So
it's
what is it?
for me, I guess. Sure, why not?
I don't drink beer. I'm not an alcohol guy, so it's forbid for me. But the point is, I'm just trying to understand it, because making that thing, I believe so. It's an art. You need to go with different process.
Right.
So that's what we're trying to promote in.
Well, the way that I would see
counties.
it, the way that I would see it is like arts and culture, because we're incorporating it as a festival.
Yeah,
It's more than just beer. It's more than just sampling beers.
It's more stuff. Okay, got it.
It would be a full event. And
Event,
it
got
take a lot of planning. And to be honest with you, we could not do that for this year, but something that we can put on the radar. Trust me, it takes a lot of planning to put on an event. So I would not suggest it for this summer, but if it's something that everybody's interested in, I just wanted to put it out there as potential on the radar.
Oh, perfect. Thank you very much. This is good. So the other piece I was thinking is that we were, again, as Kyle mentioned, it's an event. So there are a number of events coming in different diverse community. Like, for example, this is the holy month of Ramadan, right? This weekend, it's our Eid. So we're celebrating Eid. So there is a different ideas of Eid celebration. We were thinking. Again, I'm not sure how town will be involved. I just want to listen to you guys if it's possible. Maybe not this year. Next year, we will plan something. Hey, Eid festival, we make an Eid gala night where all the communities can come in and have different festivals, like a sort of a shopping spree is going on, henna tattoos, stuff, music festivals, showing different cultures, because there are Nigerian culture, there is Pakistani, Indian, there are numbers. So it's sort of art will show. Maybe next year, not this year, but we can plan it because it's already on our head for 3 days after that, so we can't do anything.
So is that during this time, like in April, or is it some other time?
No, it's all, so next year I believe, so it's 10, so every year it's 10 days behind. So
Oh,
this year we are doing 21st of April. It will be the for Eid. Next year will be, I believe, so just minus 10 days. So it will be near first 2 weeks of April, I believe so. I will know this thing in advance and I will keep you guys posted that how that thing will work.
and would there be
Only-
enough room in the town hall to do that, or would need a bigger facility?
I think so. CDRC will work, in my opinion, because last year the community did it with own pocket, so we did it with ourselves.
Mhm.
And there is so CDRC can host, I believe so, minimum 150 if we want. So I think so we can do it there if we want, and
Yeah,
it's safe, weather permitting, or we can do it outside as a park.
I was going to say the only
Yeah.
thing if you're going early April, as
It
we've
might be
seen
snowing.
this year, that's going to be
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think indoor is probably a better plan for that. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So again, it's just the thought, and I know there is another Shelburne ethnic group just formed last year. They celebrate Diwali,
Mhm.
and they did it by themselves. It was a ticketed event, and I was asking them that why no one from town was involved. That someone need to be involved because this is something we need to promote. They said they were not aware of it first. That's what they said, and then I requested it. Why you did not involve with Multicultural Foundation? That is, so you involved with them. They were not aware of it. So there are opportunities which we think so we can plan. Again, I don't want to hijack this call. I have ideas I can come up with, and you guys know me. I mean, if I start, I will not stop. So I will just keep quiet now.
If I
No, we
can
love
just-
your ideas.
If I can just add one thing to that, the council is very good about flying flags or making proclamations regarding cultural days or events. If the committee is aware of one that council hasn't recognized and the committee feels that they should, if you could bring that forward too. So,
Oh,
you know,
100%.
so we're being completely inclusive in that regard. We try to make sure we're getting them all, but we're not perfect. So if the committee is aware of any and wants to bring them forward, please do so as well.
Yeah, the idea is, so I have a few feedback we received, especially on different community flag raising. They said this is good, wonderful, getting recognition, it's all good. But what they are saying is that, hey, it's not just a flag. Flag is not identifying me anything. Okay, flag town is like, there need to be more, like some kind of event going on where the people are showing up, like the way we do Canada Day, the way we do with Christmas, the way we do even Eid and stuff. Something town need to bring it, because people were saying, oh, what we see, oh, this is a Bangladesh Heritage Day on a screen. Okay, what Bangladesh stuff we are doing? Nothing. So that, I think so we need to push the envelope a little bit forward to come up with something and use our dollars, whether it's 1,000 or $600, to organize small events, indoor, outdoor, whatever the case is, and recognize them, because people are seeing in the newspaper or social media page, but they say only 5 or 7 guys standing and raising the flag, but nothing extra actually happening during that month. So we need to do that. Yes, flag happened. Okay, this month we are doing this. Then it will attract more audience here. I think so. Again, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, and that could almost even tie into with DEI as well, right? So if we need sort of assistance or help, you know,
100%.
even funding or whatnot, we can sort of approach DEI too and kind of rope them in as well, right? Because it's all, we're all similar at that point with regards to that. So, but yeah, no, I agree. I think that's a great idea.
And then my question regarding the fund, which you guys just mentioned, the 15,000 is accumulated because of two years. You know, we just added. So every year it's going to be 15,000. It's going to get lesser.
It depends.
It depends. Okay.
Yeah.
So
It'll be our job as a committee to sort of recommend to council what we would like to see come from the budget, I guess you could say, into our budget as a committee. So at the end of the year or whatnot, we can sort of discuss, okay, what do we have left? Do we want that, if we can request whatever's left be put into a reserve for the following year, or and then of course ask council for an actual budget as well. If we need more or less or whatnot, we ask, and then it's up to council to collectively make the decision.
And we can, community can also chip in if they want to, right?
Mhm.
If we say, okay, we are doing this small, it's $1,500, town will spend from this budget, but in order to do this event, it's $5,000, so we can do fundraising to make that thing happen. We are allowed to do that. Okay, got it.
Yep.
There's more that we can do as well, Austin. I mean, if you take a look at Canada Day, we've got vendor market that's going up. So all of the vendors have to pay to be there. Plus, we've got sponsorships going in as well. I mean, there's all kinds of different ways to fundraise. If we have an event and we know what the event is and we know that we need to build funds up for it, there's all kinds of different ways that we can do that.
Got it, boss. Thank you very much. Again, I'm sorry, I'm just asking because we're just trying to understand. Sorry, thank you.
There's no dumb questions except for the ones
No.
that
All right, thank you. Go ahead, Alice. I'm sorry.
No, that's great. That's exactly what the point of this part of the discussion was supposed to be, just to start giving out ideas for opportunities for within this term. You know, ideally, we would be great to see the committee come up with something for 2023 to use the funds that are available for 2023. Maybe thinking for late fall, early winter, towards the end of the year, to give you time to plan for it.
I've
Go
got
ahead,
something.
Kyle.
I've got something that we might be able to tie into. I've been talking with the Canets. How many of you are familiar with Casey Gardens in Orangeville and what they do around Christmas time, having the lights?
Yep.
In the So I've approached the Canets. They're probably not going to be able to pull it off this year. They wanted to try, and I said it's really, really tight trying to get sponsorships for all of this.
Yeah.
But I think this might also be another thing that arts and culture could potentially tie in with as well. So if we're interested, as they're planning this whole thing in Fiddle Park, as things progress, I might recommend having them have somebody come and do a presentation to this committee as well, and see if it might be something that we want to partner with them.
I mean, it's possible they could still make it work for this year. They just would need to start like right now. So, you know, they would need to kind of get the word out there that this is what they want to do. This is what they're looking for. And then, you know, as what they could recommend, instead of just sponsorship in the form of a monetary, they could ask businesses or even just residents to actually submit an already sort of ready to go piece that would be plugged in and lit up.
That's the idea. This isn't going to be something where the Canets are putting the lights on. This is going to be, and this is why I said to them, this year's probably too tight, because essentially what they want to do is they want to go out. What I recommended to them is go out to each of the businesses, let them know this is an advertising opportunity. Again, buy a space, build your display, and then time there for that display.
Yeah, that would be cool, because I could totally do a dog in a bathtub.
but we're looking for next year, right? Again.
I think it's way too tight for this year.
Yeah,
Again, I think this would be next year. This is what I said to the Canets already, because they were chomping at the bit, ready to go, and I'll go, wow, slow down. Let's put our ducks in a row. Let's make sure that when we do this, let's have it hit off with a bang rather than a poof.
Right.
Makes sense. So what do we have as quick wins in this short term? What we can plan in 2023? Like their number of, do we have anything planned from last year? Sorry, go ahead, Lindsay.
Yeah, no, like I ran Savor Shelburne 1 year, and it was based on an arts and culture type I guess platform, and it kind of encompassed, like, what I did was I approached some of the businesses and had them sort of do an open doors almost type of situation. So for example, Jellycraft had their doors open a little later into the evening, and people would come in and they had a whole bunch of Polish food that could be there and be sampled. So, and different drinks and candies and things like that. And it was all just free. You come in, you chat, you taste a few things, you know, whatnot. There was a couple other restaurants that kind of offered that as well. Johnny's, for example, with like some pizza and stuff like that, because, you know, Italian culture. And then I had a ghost walk. So I had someone from the Paranormal Society kind of there, and we went around sort of some of the little areas in the downtown core that had sort of, ghost related history attached to it. And she spoke about that. We had at Town Hall was open again, sort of like an open door, where I had the theater production company there, the LP Productions, and they were doing a little bit of an improv night. So you would go and kind of do improv. They took you, I know there's not much because the Shelburne stage is small, but they took people behind the scenes, showed them, how to open curtains and close the curtains and what the sound system looked like, and things of that nature, how to get off the stage, because nobody really knows, like, oh, how do you get off the stage, right? So just things like that. I had a gentleman there, oh gosh, his name is totally just right out of my brain, but he's a tattoo artist. So he was doing, he was painting, and then I had blank canvases there, and the community members would come up and they would paint on the canvas. So they were adding their own little whatever they wanted to on the canvas, and had multiple canvases, so if they got full. And then the library had sort of a little meet the author kind of night for children's books, and then at the same time you could make like a little Play-Doh fake pie, right? It was related to one of her stories. And also tied into that with the idea of authors and things like that, we had a short story contest for kids. So we had kids submit short stories. Well, I say we, but it was just me. So I had kids should submit sort of short stories. There was a couple of different age categories, and then I had a local author read them and judge. And I got a local company that makes medals actually make first, second, and third place within the different categories of ages. And that went over really well too. We got a bunch of submissions. So it was really cool. And then just smaller stuff like sidewalk chalk and things like that for kids, because that's all, art. So up and down Main Street was just every, couple of the businesses had sidewalk chalk. Royal Page, for example, had sidewalk chalk out front of their place, and the kids can just draw whatever they want. So there was kind of a lot going on, and you could just sort of travel to each one. So something like that could potentially be a quick win, right? Like we could do something easy, like even if we did something that was like a workshop within the library, partner with the library for that, with learning how to write a short story, or learning how to have a local author come in. We have lots of authors in the town, especially right now. Amaya James, for example, she wrote Afro No. So, I mean, she could come in and kind of speak to kids and give them tips and pointers on, how to build a story, and she illustrated it herself as well. So she could sort of, maybe speak with, and I don't want to speak on her behalf, but this could be something maybe she would be interested in if we partnered and with streams as well, right? And offer sort of a little workshop like that, where you can come in, learn how to write a short story or a kid's story, and then maybe how to potentially submit your work to potentially be published, right? So something of like that could be fairly easy to organize, and we could definitely do something in 2023 with that.
So can we maintain this number of lists which we have continued doing from last year's, and the one which we think is a quick wins? Can we list those down and just understand the dates, and the teams need to be, stakeholders need to be involved? So that will give a clear picture. Okay, this is what we're doing this time. This was, again, I'm jumping 2 steps ahead, but at least just organize it in a list. I'm sure it is there somewhere, but once we have that, so we say, okay, we will do this thing. But and based on Lindsay, what you're saying, it's mostly you're saying it's kids. So can we categorize this based on, art and culture, kids, teenagers, adults, senior, that everyone involved, so everyone have some kind of events, male, especially females. I'm a pro woman inclusion guy, always there, that ladies need to lead everything, in my opinion, because they are the best managers and event planners. We are the guys. Guys are only to go and work and bring money. That's how I see it.
The muscle.
But so can we? So we can open up with all the categories.
And Savor Shelburne was literally for anyone and everyone. Like, it went right from kids right up to seniors, right? So it had a little bit of everything for anyone. So you're right. Like we can either focus on, okay, this one, activity will be more for children, or this one will be more for seniors, or this one will be, whatnot. Or like you said, we can just do something that encompasses all of that, right? Like it's welcome and opening for every age.
So do we have any dog shows?
Any
Like-
what?
Dog show, like I saw in Shelburne, everyone have a pet dogs, like beautiful. Do we have any kind of show and display and training actions, dogs doing stunts? Do we have any events like that?
Not,
No.
not that I'm aware of. I know with Canada Day, no, it wasn't Canada Day, it was Shelterfest. There is an organization that does dog sleds and dog sled rides. And we've used them a few times.
Yep.
There are companies around, there's organizations that we can certainly approach.
Yep. The fall fair does a small dog show for kids. And I approached them this year asking if we can make an adult category, but the organizer of the dog show said it gets a little, I guess, too much if we bring the adults into it too. So it'll remain 16 and under for the fall fair, but no, we don't really have anything like that, which would be cool because we could maybe showcase the new duck park.
Yeah, 100%. Why not? But again, do we need to go to the organizations to organize these events, or this is something we can do? Because every owner is trained, and we say, hey, this is an opportunity. Train your dog. Do this exercise. We have designed that event and use our dog park to show them how it goes. We don't need to spend money. We will just say, hey, registration policies, and we'll provide the platform, and we just manage and say, hey, we can do that, right?
The only thing with dogs you've got to be very, very, very careful of is liability.
Biting.
Of course, 100%. But again, that was just 2 cents.
It's it's ideas, right? And
Yeah.
that's what we need. We need ideas. So
Yeah.
I mean, what I would recommend too is maybe if each of us kind of has ideas that we would like to maybe see put forward, compile a list and email it into Alice so that they're they can be compiled all together. And
Got
then at the next 1 or 2 meetings from now, we can have a look at that, right? And we from that list we can say, okay, you know what, these are our quick wins that we can do this year, and we'll vote on it or whatnot, and then start planning.
And that's exactly
sounds
what
like a
I
plan
was
to
going
me.
to suggest.
Alice,
Perfect.
there is another thought that I had that I kind of need you to do some digging for me if you wouldn't mind. When I was a kid, Fergus had 1 year where they allowed the public to paint the fire hydrants. And then they had a whole competition to see, and they had a winner of the fire hydrant competition, but they had pamphlets saying where all painted ones were so people could actually just drive around the town and see them. And I remember even 10 years afterwards, some of those fire hydrants were still painted as that event was. So I don't know if legalities have changed, and I don't know if that's something that we can or cannot do.
Well, we have to ask the fire department.
Yeah, I'll look into that, but I know previously I'd had conversations in my previous employment where I learned that colors of fire hydrants mean different things to firefighters in regards to water pressure and things like that. So I'll look further into it and I'll bring that information back. Absolutely.
Again, like I said, it's just a thought, and I remember it vividly. And this is like 2 years younger than God, ancient times.
Okay. Yep.
2 BC.
That's right.
So it's just with that kind of idea, I love that. If we can't do hydrants, maybe cable boxes, like those big giant nasty green things, right?
Yeah.
If we could maybe paint those instead, I don't know,
Shocking
but
hazard on
just
those ones.
something, right?
Can't touch them.
We don't
Damn
own
it.
them. Those are owned by Hydro.
Well,
Gotcha.
here's the thing I'm wondering about. In Orangeville, the hydro things are all wrapped with some designs and images similar to, what we could do with the Heritage Committee on murals. So I'm wondering why they're able to do it and we can't.
Are they
We-
Orangeville Hydro? Or
Oh,
are they
that's
part
right,
of Hydro
yeah.
One?
So they probably decided that it was okay.
Plus, the rappers would probably have some kind of knowledge of the electrical boxes and what to
Yeah.
and not to touch and avoid and all that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah,
It's
it
not
depends on who owns the utility.
Right.
Okay.
Gotcha.
well, that's a good idea.
Okay, so what I got from that is everyone who comes up with ideas can email them to me and I will add them to the agenda for further discussion at the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay,
Sounds good
and
to
I'll
me.
make sure that Alex gets that information as well. Was there any other opportunities that you wanted to mention at this time for this portion of the agenda or?
No, I think we're good. We just compiled a list. I have hundreds of ideas. I know there is a festival every year on Hammond Street. Like we have in this part of Shelburne, they have this food events for 3 days. All the neighbors come out, barbecues, everything. They block the street, all streets they involve. It's sort of an art now. The whole street is just distributing, eating food, party, everything. So I'm not sure if town is aware of it, but I know Ontario Police was OPP.
They are now.
They are now. So that's sort of a culture for last 2 years on a Hammond Street. Once you come from this Highway 18 behind the Home Hardware area, so that's like the whole street. They bring their barbecue and food, biryani, everyone is out.
Which unfortunately breaks all kinds of public health rules.
Sorry, but that's what they're doing. I'm just saying.
Yeah, so the committee would have to be
We don't
careful
know
about
anything about it.
getting, the committee would have to be careful about getting involved in something like that because
Got it,
as soon
okay.
as officially involvement, that we have to make sure that we're following all of the regulations of the public health unit.
Makes
So we'll
sense.
just
All
keep
right.
that in mind for any event
Yeah.
that is being planned, whether food, animals, anything like that, the public health unit would have to be informed and involved in permits obtained.
100%. So compile the list. That's what we will send it to Alice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank-
Okay,
perfect.
so is there anything that anybody wanted to add under new business?
At this point.
Not this one. Yeah.
No.
Okay. Okay, so then the next item is the adjournment. So based on the fact that you said the second Tuesday of the month, the next meeting would be May the 9th. The following one after that would be June the 13th. That one we might have a conflict with, just because I know some staff are away at a conference that week. So we might have to adjust that one, but we'll let you know about that one. And then going forward, August, we will take the month of August off. There will be no committee meeting in the month of August. Okay, so okay, so we'll let you know about June. If we need to change that one, we'll confirm that one at the next meeting for sure, just to make sure that everybody's okay if we do need to change that. And with that being said, we can get a recommendation to adjourn. Okay, Lindsay, seconded by Kyle, and we will adjourn until the next meeting. And that is the end of this meeting. Thank you very much. We will adjourn at 7:15 p.m.